And for more, we're pleased to say hello to the future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt, who joins us from the site. J.J., these two sort of looked each other eye to eye for about 60 minutes of football. In your eyes, what was the deciding factor?
Yeah, I mean, Colts fans are certainly going to have some things to say about the refereeing down there in the red zone especially. There were some calls that were very tough for him, no question. But I would say the Houston defense being the first team all season to be able to hold the Colts under 20 points, and Jonathan Taylor out of the end zone, no touchdowns for him, under 100 yards rushing. That is clearly kind of becoming the key to stopping the Colts, is you have to stop Jonathan Taylor and make everybody else beat you.
All right, I want to go one deeper here on this Houston defense because I'm talking to the man who carried the standard for such a long time there. But what some see in the eyes of the Mona Lisa, a setting sun over the Mediterranean, the doctorate-level understanding of pass rush that you have, I'm sure you see in this pass rush group. What do you see when they put their hands on the ground and get going?
I mean, the number one thing you see about this defense is just pure intensity and violence. The way that they attack people. They have such strong bull rushes, speed to power, which then opens up all their speed rushes, their spins, everything else that comes along with it. And they do it together as a group. They never really let the quarterback slip out, or they never both get behind him or both get in front of him. They don't give escape lanes. They keep them bottled up, and it's very difficult for quarterbacks to play against that.
Especially if you're dealing with a fracture in your leg, as Daniel Jones is and will be moving forward this season. Indianapolis, not to say they peaked too soon, but they've looked more human this last couple weeks. You stare down one of the top defensive units in the league on this day. But when you project them forward, Indy, what are the pressure points right now, the things they have to clean up prior to playoff football?
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that just always has to stay on schedule. And when they're not able to win first down, they've been doing it at a historic rate this year, but when they're not, that's when they get in trouble. Their offense thrives on the ability to be diverse. The run game, the play action, the screens, the RPOs. When they're not able to do that, when they have to drop back and throw, that's when they get themselves in a little bit of trouble. So that's what they need to do. Jonathan Taylor has to be the workhorse of this team. Not anything we didn't already know, but it's become even more clear these last few weeks.
He is J.J. Watt, our workhorse as well. Appreciate your time as always, J.J.
Thanks. Have a great one.
All right, so a big result there. And don't forget, new season of Landman streaming right now on Paramount Plus. Bryant McFadden can't get enough of it. I mean, we got to open these guys' mics so they can get me up to speed. Now streaming on Paramount Plus, it's the return of Landman from Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone. Academy Award winner Billy Bob Thornton is back, featuring Academy Award nominees Demi Moore, Andy Garcia, and Sam Elliott. Mac, it's Landman, a new season, streaming now on Paramount Plus.
I'm waiting on my cameo. Landman producers, if you're watching.
All right, maybe the landman for the Indianapolis Colts, who came into this game leading the league in rushing, held somewhat in check, kept out of the end zone at least. Jonathan Taylor going to be a massive part, as he has been all season, of this Indy offense. But you pit good on good, offense versus defense here, and the good wins out in the Houston defense.
Yes.
They even took a couple knocks personnel-wise on this day, but maintained that level of play.
Man, their defense, man, is consistent. And the thing I love about the Houston Texans defensively, outside of the personnel, because, you know, I've raved about they have guys who look like what they hunt on the defensive side, but just the physical nature in which they play with. When you watch the Houston Texans play defense, watch it from your living room or your bedroom, it feels like you're getting tackled. You feel the impact when they put that Rydell on whoever is the ball carrier for that said offense. And that intensity does something. It takes the momentum away from that offense, because as an offensive player, you know you have to protect yourself. You better protect yourself. And what we're seeing now in terms of the Indianapolis Colts, they've been figured out.
Oh.
In the last 4 ball games, they're 1-3. That one lonely win came in overtime against the Atlanta Falcons. The Pittsburgh Steelers figured them out. In the second half, the Kansas City Chiefs figured them out. For 4 quarters, the Houston Texans figured them out. So now they have to find a way to get other people heavily involved outside of JT. JT, remember early in the year it was JT sprinkled in with a little bit of Tyler Warren. Now we haven't seen as much of Tyler like we did in the first month and a half of the season as well. So for the Houston Texans, man, they're in a very, very difficult situation right now, because they had a lock on their division for the first quarter of the season, and now that lock is starting to slip away. And as we see today, mathematically speaking, Jacksonville is now sitting atop of that division, correct?
Yeah. No.
No, Indy still is
Yeah.
Okay.
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
But when you look at Indy, it's almost like they're surviving. And you know how I feel about
I'm
teams
wrong.
that are
Jacksonville,
surviving.
I just updated it. Jacksonville
Yes.
is atop the AFC South. Indianapolis right now is the 5th seed, is the first wild card. So to your point, and this is something that has plagued the Indianapolis Colts for the last several years. Remember, all they needed to do was just go to Jacksonville a couple years ago with Carson Wentz as quarterback.
And lost. And they lost.
All
that
they
one.
had to do was just win that last game, right? And they lost, right? Jacksonville has been their bugaboo. And now, can you imagine what the conversations are going to be around the Indianapolis Colts? If what BMAC says is true, that the NFL is starting to figure them out, and look, you have the evidence to point to. These last 3 games, or 3 of the last 4, teams have started to figure out the Colts. And we're not really talking about Jonathan Taylor necessarily as that sort of MVP candidate. Certainly in the conversation, let's give him respect, right? Daniel Jones, we're not talking about Daniel Jones as though he's going to make $60 million with the Indianapolis Colts when they finally sign him to that contract. This is scary hours right now for Indy, because there's still some division games still left out there, Pat.
That it is. My question was to you guys, have they figured the Indianapolis Colts out, or Daniel Jones is being Daniel Jones now? Or they're forcing Daniel Jones to beat them versus Jonathan Taylor?
I think we all would have the same mindset. If we were all a part of the same defensive staff getting ready for the Colts,
If those are the two evils?
Yeah, we would say 2-8 can't beat us.
Yeah.
Right? And now we got to see, can the other guys beat us for 4 quarters? Not 1, not 2, not a half, but for 4 quarters. And what we saw in the second half, the adjustments that Steve Spagnuolo made against the Colts in the second half was kind of what we saw from DeMeco Ryans in his defense for the entirety of this ball game. And Jonathan Taylor is going to get his. There's
no doubt.
You can't imagine neutralizing him for 4 quarters, but you cannot allow him to take games over. That from what we've seen him be he be able to do,
like he did in Germany against Atlanta and so on and so forth. Here's my concern for the Colts. We're talking about other teams figuring them out. I don't know if we have the Colts schedule, but let me tell you who the Colts have coming up after this. They have at Jacksonville. Just talked about how the Colts struggle in Jacksonville. Look at this right here.
Seattle.
We're talking about all playoff teams.
All playoff teams.
All playoff teams. We're talking about having to go to Seattle. You get the Niners on Monday Night Football. You get the Jags again, and then you get this Texans defense.
In Houston.
Yeah.
There's always that team. September, October. We're talking MVPs. We're talking playoff. We'll be talking about the Indianapolis Colts after this stretch run. Jonathan Taylor, again, held in check here, 4 yards per pop, 85 yards, in total in a loss, 20-16 to the Houston Texans, who C.J. Stroud comes back and maybe wasn't the cleanest ball game, but 276 and an INT. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Mike, that's my dog too.
I know you love it.
Yeah, Mayor of
Kingstown, Mac.
You just watch all the shows.
No question.
Starring Academy Award
I don't like
winner,
the new warden.
Academy Award nominee Jeremy Renner, featuring Emmy Award winner Edie Falco. I don't know if you're supposed to. Mayor of Kingstown, the new season.
She's giving Mike a hard
Now
time.
streaming right
I really
now
liked that warden.
on Paramount.
Would have loved to go back to prison.